Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lighten Up. How are you? What's going on in the world? Nice to have you. Welcome to Lighten Up with Bo, where mostly right now I'm going through the lessons in the spiritual text called A Course in Miracles. But occasionally I do some topics that are just related to life, and maybe I talk about A Course in Miracles and maybe I don't. But for the purpose of today's video, I'm going through the 365 daily lessons in such a way that hopefully is a little bit easier because it can be a lot. And the purpose is to help you live lighter, to help you live a more peaceful, joyful, consistent experience in a lighter state. But what it means is not just like acting like you feel all good. It's doing a little introspection, doing some meditative mantras, some daily lessons. Even if you're not doing the lessons, the purpose of this channel is that when you're done watching a video, you feel a little bit lighter in your mind. That hopefully it moves you a little bit closer to that unlimited self that we all share, that lives in a state of ease and peace and relaxation regardless of outer circumstances. Again, somebody the other day asked me like, hey man, you don't have anything really magnificent going on in your life per se, but you just seem to always have a smile on your face and seem fairly light. Well, that's what the Course in Miracles has done for me. It's not the only path to freedom, but it sure has freed my own mind. So whether you're doing the lessons with me today or you just found your way to my video, I hope it makes you or brings you a little bit more ease and lightness. So this is Lighten Up with Bo. We're on the lesson 69 in A Course in Miracles. So join in, and as I like to do now lately, before we actually officially start reading, I'm going to just give you kind of the quick breakdown of like, what is this lesson saying at its core? First, I'll tell you what the lesson is. It's my grievances, and another word for grievances is just judgments, my grudges. So I'm going to change the words as I like to do so they can make sense for everybody. My judgments hide the light of the world in me. And what's another word for light? Truth, right? Ultimate truth, a truth that is unchanging, a truth that will not change no matter what the outer circumstances are. So a unchanging truth, a whole perception. So my judgments hide the truth of the world in me. So what this lesson really breaks down to at the end of the day, for those that may not be following along, is judgments are kind of like, let's just take a sky, for instance. And we've probably all heard this metaphor, but it's impossible to see the unity and the oneness and the harmony that we share with another life when we are living in a state of judgment. When we have judgments about other, we basically create like a thunderstorm to the sun. The sun is always shining. The light is always there, nonstop, every second, all the time. But the more judgments we have, they act like clouds over the light that we are. So it's not about clouding my vision from the reality of what's happening outside me. It's not about clouding my visions from being able to understand the real meaning of everything going on around me. There is no meaning going on around you. All meaning is in the mind. So when I'm stuck with 1,000 different judgments that I'm not even aware of, let alone against myself, which all judgments are really just towards myself, and then I project them onto the screen of the world. So they're like clouds in a sky. And when you forgive, forgiveness is what removes the clouds to reveal what was already there. It's not revealing something that was never there. It's not getting the things that were out of the way. They were never really in the way to begin with, because what you really are is the sun. You are the light of the world. But when you live in judgment, you basically create a big cloud bank, and then you actually feel like you're on the other side of that cloud bank. You're now a separate self that's cut off from the light. Not possible. So, short version is, to break down this lesson, you are the light of the world, and all your judgments and all your condemnation and all your thoughts get in the way of you knowing what you are. So now let's officially begin reading lesson 69. My grievances hide the light of the world in me. No one can look upon what your judgments conceal. No one can look upon what your judgments conceal. Because your judgments are hiding the light of the world in you, everyone stands in darkness and you beside them. But as the veil of your judgments are lifted, you will be released with them. Share your freedom now with all those who stood beside you when you were in darkness, when you were in hell. They are your brother and your sister in the light of the world which saves you both. So what does that paragraph really mean? I think it's pretty easy to understand, but I'll break it down. We see everything through our perception, our beliefs, even if we're not aware of those beliefs. And if we have 1,000 different judgments going, then not only are we in darkness, but we see everything and everyone through the veil of our perceptual beliefs. So if we're in darkness, the world is in darkness. They're in darkness. And no matter what anybody usually tells most people, they just see like, man, I'm in the dark, I'm lost, and man, the world is basically lost, mostly. But when we forgive our own misperceptions about everyone and everything, including what we are and who we are, we reveal the light that was always there, and now we walk in a world as light. And those that were seemingly outside of us, we now realize are one with us. So that's what it means that we're all really tied together as we all individually decide to remember the light we are by forgiving our judgments. We all step into the light together. Paragraph 2, today let us make another real attempt to reach the light in you. Before we undertake this in our more extended long practice period, let us devote several minutes to thinking about what we are trying to do. We are literally, it says, attempting to get in touch with the freedom of the world. We are trying to see past the veil of darkness that keeps it concealed. The veil of darkness is a false idea, a false belief, a distortion thought. So that's the veil of darkness. It's an idea that is not true, blocking the truth. So we are trying to see past the veil of darkness that keeps the light concealed. We are trying to let the veil be lifted, to let it be lifted. It's nothing we do. We just put our place in a state of willingness, in silence and meditation, and see the tears of God's child disappear in the sunlight. Isn't that beautiful? Let's read that again. We are trying to let the veil be lifted and see the tears of God's child disappear in the sunlight. Again, who is God's child? You, me. Every living expression is part of the one child of God, the creation of the Creator. So now we're going to officially begin this lessons practice. Again, if you're not doing the lessons, I started recording January 1. There's 365 in the metaphysical text, A Course in Miracles. If you're not doing the lessons, you can listen to this slowly and maybe just try to practice today this one lesson. But if you are doing the lessons, this lesson's a little longer of an explanation today. So try to listen intently. I'm not going to do too much explaining. As you know, there's one longer period today of 10 to 15 minutes, ideally at the same time you've been doing the other ones. And then 1 to 2 shorter practice periods every hour where you're just kind of going over the idea really quickly, thinking about it. We'll go over that in a second. So, paragraph 3, let us begin our longer practice period today with the full realization of all this and real determination to reach what is dearer to us than all else. Freedom is our only need. Liberation is our only need. Salvation is our only need. There is no other purpose here and no other function to fulfill. Learning salvation or freedom or release is our only goal. So learning true release is our only goal. Let us end the ancient search today by finding the light in us. Let us end that ancient outer search by finding the light in us and holding it up for everyone who searches with us to look upon and rejoice. As we set our mind free, we stand in the light for those to see. We don't go in the darkness to save anyone. We stand in the light until they see it, and it gives them permission to stand up out of their darkness and join us in the crusade of being light bearers, saviors. We're all meant to be this. Very quietly now, with your eyes closed, try to let go of all the content which generally occupies your consciousness. Think of your mind as a vast, round area, surrounded by a layer of heavy, dark clouds. You can see only the clouds because you seem to be standing outside the whole area and quite apart from it. From where you stand, you see no reason to believe there is a brilliant light hidden by the clouds. The clouds seem to be the only reality. The clouds seem to be the only reality. So when your mind is so weighed down with all of the problems and issues and misbeliefs and fantasies of fear and hatred and scarcity and loss and lack and all the issues, right? That's what the clouds represent. When we are the self that is stuck, how can we see anything other than this? We believe it so much that all we do is talk about the clouds and talk about the weather that's in the way of the sun. The clouds seem to be the only reality. They seem to be all there is to see. Therefore, you do not attempt to walk through them and past them, which is the only way in which you would be really convinced of their lack of substance. We will make this attempt today. See, when all we see are the clouds and our problems and our issues, and we keep trying to solve the issues, we get so lost in our issues that we basically believe our life are issues. And maybe there's something beautiful on the other side of the issues, but we can't see that because all we see is our issues. And it's like playing the game whack-a-mole. You'd clear one issue and there's another issue because we give more power of our belief to the issues than the truth behind the issues, which is we are the light of the world. And there is no cloud that can obscure the truth of what we are, not in ultimate reality. Only if we believe it can, will we feel and see the experience that it can. So after you have thought about the importance of what you are trying to do for yourself and the world, try to settle down in perfect stillness, remembering only how much you want to reach the light in you today. And it says now. To reach the light in you now, right now. Determined to go past the clouds. So be determined in this longer practice period. I give you my determination, Great Spirit, to let you take me beyond the clouds of my mind, to reach the literal light of truth in me. Back to the reading. Reach out and touch them in your mind. So you're in this meditation, right? You see that big bank of clouds, right? Determined to go past the clouds. Reach out and touch them in your mind. Brush them aside with your hand. Feel them resting on your cheeks and forehead and eyelids as you go through them. You feel the moisture, the softness. Go on. Clouds cannot stop you. If you are doing the exercises properly, you will begin to get a sense of being lifted up and carrying ahead. Carried ahead. Your little effort and small determination call on the power of the universe to help you. And God itself will raise you from darkness into light. You are in accord with its will. You cannot fail because your will is God's. Have confidence in your Creator today. Have confidence in the Father, Mother today. And be certain that it has heard you and it has answered. You may not recognize its answer yet, but you can indeed be sure that it is given you and you will receive it. Try as you attempt to go through the clouds to the light to hold this confidence in your mind. Try to remember that you are at last joining your will to God's. Try to keep the thought clearly in mind that what you undertake with God, with truth, must succeed. Then let the power of God work in you and through you, that its will and yours be done. This is the longer practice period. Oh, hey, the little spider, he's back hanging out. Hello, friend. Just hanging out. In the shorter practice periods, what you will want to do as often as possible in view of the importance of today's idea to you and your happiness, remind yourself that your judgments are hiding the light of the world from your awareness. Remind yourself also that you are not searching for it alone, and that you do know where to look for it. So this is in the shorter period, like 1 to twice an hour. So with your eyes open or closed, you'll say this to yourself: my grievances hide the light of the world in me. My judgments hide the light of the world in me. It's in me. I cannot see what I have hidden, yet I want to let it be revealed to me for my freedom and the freedom of the world. Remember, you can always change it to kind of make it into your own words. You might be like, you know what? My judgments are hiding the truth of who I am from me. Currently, I cannot see what I've hidden with my judgments, but I want to let it be revealed for my freedom and the freedom of the world. Also, be sure to tell yourself, if I hold this judgment, the light of the world will be hidden from me. If you are tempted to hold anything against anyone today. So that's it. So the longer practice period is always 10 to 15 minutes. Set a timer if you'd like. The shorter ones, try to remember at least once an hour to either open the lesson on the Course in Miracles app, or if you have the book. But having the app on your phone makes it a lot easier anywhere you go throughout your day. If you still have a job, which you probably do, and a family and a life, you can set reminders. So the shorter ones you just do once an hour, eyes open or eyes closed. You just say those lines to yourself in your mind or out loud if you're alone. And especially if you are tempted to judge somebody, if you catch yourself, just remember to say something like, yeah, if I hold this judgment, the light of the world, the light of the truth will be hidden from me. The truth of what I am will be hidden. And that means the truth of who you really are will be hidden. So thank you so much for joining today. Again, it boils down to, it's all the judgments that are really keeping us from the truth of what we are. Be willing to let them be revealed and be released. And remember that we're all imperfect, stuck in this insane vision of who we are. So it's normal to judge. There's no shame in it. It's just when we judge, we block the truth of what we all are. So stay light. Remember, when you're not doing the lessons, don't take it all so seriously. Lighten up. Oh, by the way, I made this cool little, I've told you guys, if you go to the lightenupmovement.com, lightenupmovement.com, you'll see my videos, you'll see talks. You can reach out to me if you have a question or comment or need some support, like a one-on-one. I do those. But I also made some fun symbols that for me, look, the bodysuits are just communication vessels anyways. All day long, we are communicating with our words, with our expressions. And, so for me, I love to wear expressions that are symbols to remind me especially to not take everything so serious. to remember to lighten up. But what that means is not to just act like it's not happening, but to remember that when I pause and breathe and ask Spirit to take me back to the holiness of my true mind that knows we are all one and that knows we could never harm the sun. It doesn't matter how big or crazy the storm looks. The storm is not what you are. And most of us are walking around thinking the storm of our life, our judgments, our issues is what we are. So this is a fun new one. This is called when you go to the shop, it's called like Lighten Up Jesus. I think I'll do a Buddha one or whatever. But since the Course in Miracles is based on a Christed path, I thought it would be fun to show him riding a bike and showing the peace sign. And beneath the bike, it just says lighten up. But if you want to see some of the symbols, you can go to my site. You can subscribe to the page. You can reach out and stay light. So be well, and I'll see you on another video soon.